The other thing, Brendan, is is this like a bit of a out of a museum, or is this?
Yeah, people probably don't really know what these are anymore, do they?
So the mail run couldn't happen this week again. So we're going to go for a drive this time, and we're going to introduce Ant to Brendan and Jessie. Today we're going to be driving Ant's car, which is a Toyota Prado. I'm going to see how well it handles some of the interesting things that we might come across, but it really shouldn't be that much of an issue. It's only going to be a couple of creek crossings, and the Prado is a pretty good car. So we've got Jasmine and the kids loaded up, and Ant and I are in the front. We're going to see if he can remember the way back. Righto, let's get to it. So we're a couple of Ks now from Carnegie Homestead. We've run into our first little challenge. Now I know that it's all good to cross because the guys have been coming and driving through for the last couple of weeks. We've got no issues about going through it, but I'm going to walk through just for Ant, and we'll get a video of him coming through it. Now it's got a bit of pace to it. Probably be pretty fun if we had the kayak. We could jump in it and go downstream a bit. But I think Ant's all good for this. The Prado is a pretty good vehicle for outback travel, particularly if you don't have kids, but also if you don't need to tow anything. The Prado is just the ultimate long-range outback vehicle. Now, compared to a couple of weeks ago when Dad and Ant were checking the driveway at Prenty for how to go through, his confidence has certainly increased. This would have been a great situation to have worn my Crocs, because I wouldn't have had those rocks on my toes. Oh yeah?
I was videoing, recording.
So just for reference, that creek we just crossed is Brockman Creek.
Come on.
And that feeds down into Lake Carnegie. So if you wanted to, you could throw a kayak in, follow that creek all the way down, and then navigate your way through the islands and end up at Well Springs.
That's amazing. That is amazing. At the you walked across it, it looked like that current was quite strong. Could you feel the pull?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, no, that was pretty serious. If you're in a small car, you would be you'd be walking.
Yeah. You know, when you first went in, I thought, wow, that's quite deep.
But it's
solid underfoot.
Yeah, they've put a lot of the calcrete, the white stone, in there, which holds pretty well, holds together pretty well. Especially, they did a lot of concrete stabilisation for the creek crossings on this section of road, which it costs a bit, but you can see, you know, this road is perfectly accessible after all that rain, compared to the stuff you dealt with down the bottom half of Prenty.
Okay, because Prenty sits, just explain that, where it sits between the Gunbarrel and the Great Central. So we are how many south of the Gunbarrel? And
so 130 kilometres south of the Gunbarrel.
Yep.
And about 180 north of the Great Central.
And then we're how far east of the Canning Stock Road?
around 250 k's. It's a little bit windy and twisty to get through to it, but it's not that far. And we're sitting at around 2 hours of driving at the moment. So I would have been up and back twice in the plane. Someone didn't make it.
No, it's not Valiant.
So that's the welcome to Carnegie sign. It's a lot more welcoming than anything we've got on Princy at the moment, but we'll get there. There's been a few suggestions about what we could put up, but the windmill's a pretty classic piece of history.
So Jack says we're going to pop into my closest neighbour who took us 3 hours to get to, and across a few rivers. And the nearest neighbour to Jack, well, maybe not the nearest neighbour that was at home. The closest neighbour is Brendan here, who's a station manager at Carnegie Station, which is on the other side. I am somewhat surprised that there seems to be quite an extensive kitchen and you have your own shop, which we certainly do not have at Prenty. Can you give us a bit of a...
Well, we sort of run a bit of a tourist setup here at Carnegie because we've got people travelling through from time to time who are doing the Gunbarrel Highway.
Okay.
So they will stop in here mainly for fuel because we've got Wiluna one way, which is 350 k's,
yep,
and then Warburton the other side, which is 500 k's. So it's pretty necessary for people to grab some fuel here.
Is this the only stop between Wiluna and Warburton?
It is, yeah. For fuel, this is the only spot if you're travelling on the Gunbarrel.
So you travel on the Gunbarrel, it's 800 and what kilometres on from Wiluna to, and this is the only place they can get fuel?
That's right, yep, this is in
wow.
the middle, yeah.
Okay.
So that's pretty important for most people coming through.
Yep.
Yeah, and then other than that we have this kitchen here, so we sell a few souvenir type stuff and then a few basics, you know, anything else you might need. Toilet paper is pretty important sometimes, soap, toothpaste, that sort of stuff. We sell a bit of cool drink, you know, some chips, just all the basic sort of stuff. If you want some bread or milk or that sort of stuff for people travelling through.
But you manage the station, right? And then some people would think, okay, how do you run a station and also manage a sort of tourist business?
Yeah.
Do you get extra help with that, or?
We do. We need to because in the tourist season, which is the colder months of the year, it's too hot for people to be coming out in summertime.
Yep.
But yeah, at that time of the year we're normally mustering, so we're out and about, not sort of around the house too much. So we need someone here all the time to be, you know, greeting and serving tourists. So we employ normally a couple, you know, for the middle part of the year to help out with tourists.
And so people coming through, they can pick up fuel mainly, but can they stay over? Can they get a feed? How does it work?
Yep, they can do all that. We most tourists are, you know, they've got camping facilities, so they would more so camp, which we've got a bit of a small campground out the back, and then, you know, showers and toilets, which they might have not used for a couple of weeks while they've been out in the bush. So people love that. But we also do have a room. Some people are sick of camping by the time they get here, so they're pretty happy to have a room and not sleep in a tent. And then we also can provide meals for people if it's arranged. People want a meal, we can sit down, have a cooked meal or cook lunch, whatever they like.
So if people are planning on coming through this way, and I know, you know, especially out this way, planning's a big, you know, it's the most important part. So how would they, if they were planning on coming through and stopping over, how would they get in contact, or how would they do it?
They could email us on carnegiestn@gmail.com.
Yep.
And get us that way, which is probably the best way. Otherwise they can ring up. Our phone number is 9981 2991, or you can look up us on Facebook. We've got a Facebook page, and message us through that and you'll get a hold of Jess and sort out all that. But yeah, also people just pop in, you know, you don't have to book it all the time. You can just pop in if you need fuel and that's fine. There'll always be someone here.
Awesome, awesome. So look, seeing as I'm here, I don't mind beer, although sometimes I forget to bring it.
Don't mind a cold beer in the morning?
No, I don't mind a cold beer. It's lunchtime. I just want it to be noted it's lunchtime. But I'd love to purchase a stubby holder from Carnegie Station because I reckon they're pretty rare.
Alright, great. So we've got lots of colours. You better choose what you like.
I'll have the brightest thing you've got, mate.
That one there's pretty bright?
Yep, that's me. Now, for people travelling through, do you also sell beer or any alcohol that you can put in this thing?
Look, we don't sell beer, unfortunately. We haven't got a liquor licence.
Okay.
So we can't fill your stubby holder, but you'll have to bring something to fill it yourself.
Right. I think that's important to note that fluids are very important out here. So if you drink anything outside of water, you need to bring your own, right? Especially on the alcoholic front, because they don't provide it here. But everything else, all your basic needs and more, the beauty of Central Australia or Central Western Australia, you can get through Carnegie Station. Awesome.
Yep. All right, thank you.
Cheers. The other thing, Brendan, is is this like a bit of out of a museum, or is this?
Yeah. People probably don't really know what these are anymore, do they?
No.
But yeah, we've got one that's been here for, you know, all the time I've been here, so it's probably been here for 20 years or more. But it's yeah, Telstra box, fully working. They've changed it to free calls just in the last couple of years, which is even better because, you know, it wasn't a coin operated one ever because that would have been too hard for them to come collect coins. So it was always ran by a phone card, but it was very hard to sell phone cards because they always expired. And so anyway, it's gone to free calls, which is super handy. And yeah, anyone who come through is able to use it, call wherever you want. Yeah, it works really good.
So this phone here, look, see, can you zoom in on this? Free national calls, Australia is why. So I can, have you got your phone on you?
Yeah.
What's your phone number, Jack?
04.
04. All right, let's see if this works.
Well, hang on, I've just got to jump onto
Oh, you got to be on the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Takes a while. I've got your voicemail, Jack.
Yeah, okay, well, please don't leave me here. Well, you could, actually, leave a voicemail.
Okay, Jack, I'm out here at Carnegie Station, which is a long way from anywhere, and but there is a Telstra phone, so call me back. Does this ring?
It does sometimes, like randomly it might just ring.
No, but is there a number for this box?
Oh, well, there's that number, wherever it says.
Yeah, payphone ID number.
No, that's not it. No, this one here, this one.
Yeah.
Is it 1223 180 2244? Try again that. Wouldn't that be cool if it rang?
Because occasionally it rings and you're like, what the hell, you know, and you answer it and there's normally no one there. It's like someone's watching you.
You have 3 new messages and 1 saved message.
I'll check 'em often.
Received Friday, April 21st at 10:04 a.m. Message deleted. Received Friday, April 21st at 8:10. Message deleted. Received at 12:27 p.m.
Okay, Jack. I'm out here at Carnegie Station, which is a long way from anywhere, and but there is a Telstra phone, so call me back. Try and call that.
To listen.
That's extraordinary.
Is it press 22 to call back? So
Anywhere.
Sorry. The callback feature isn't available as a return phone number was not recorded with the message. To listen, press 1. To keep, press 4.
Y, wherever your Y thing is.
yeah, Y, which is 9
Yeah.
2.
Okay, go and ring.
The number you have called is not connected. Please check the number before...
So I've just sent ourselves a text message, and it's sending the text message on the this phone. I'm going to find out what our number here is if you ever want to annoy Brendan during night time. The Telstra phone here operates on the satellite network, so there's a fair bit of latency in it. Whereas our mobile phones are working on Starlink here, so they've got really low latencies. It's interesting, you can actually hear the old dial code for sending an SMS. So SMSs originally were a hack on the phone network. And what it was a signal which you'd send out to a phone number, which was a ping, and you would have your dial tone inside that signal, which would give you a text message. And so they actually cost nothing to the network provider because all it was doing was checking if a phone number was on the net.
I'm going to ask for my money back.
For all your SMSs over the years?
Yes.
55 cents an SMS on Telstra. I think they're now free.
Okay. As is this phone, Jack.
I remember when they went to 11 cents per SMS, and we were amazed. We thought this was the best thing ever. Yeah. It's interesting that we've gone from, running telegraph lines and using Morse code like your dad did, to now we prefer to send a text message than talk to people. It's taken quite a while. I think I'll just stick to, no, that's a WhatsApp message, not a Telstra message. And I'm just going to say, no, I don't want to send it to another number. So we're done. Right. So the message has gone out at 12:33. So in another minute or two, we might get a text.
Okay, let's wait for that.
All right, Brendan, what do we got here?
We've got just some of our snags here.
So by your snags, you mean that your blend or your beef?
Both. We've got tomato and onion and garlic and herb, these ones are. So both beef sausages. Jess is pretty good at that. Her family have a long history of making sausages. So I learn off her when we do sausages.
So Brendan, how often do you do mustering?
We do mustering just once a year, but it's a pretty long process. It takes us about 3 months worth of mustering to get through the 2 stations.
Which is Carnegie and Gunbarrel.
That's right, yeah. So it's nearly 4 million acres of mustering by the time we do the 2 stations.
And how many head of?
We'll probably put about 15,000 head through the yards in a good year. This year's a bit wet, so we won't see as many cattle.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, that is a lot of cattle. And that takes you, how long did you say?
About 3 months it takes us.
Wow. And you have a regular team, or people rotate through, or?
We've got sort of a regular crew plus sort of, new people every year to top up the numbers.
How many people do you need for a muster?
Sort of about 20 people take us, so it's a big crew when it happens, but we've got chopper pilots, cooks, truck drivers, people mustering, people doing yard work, all like, so yeah. There's people everywhere at that time of year.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and you do that so that's in the cooler months, but you'd also have all your people coming through as well, right? So all your tourists, so it's just a peak period. Yeah?
It is, yeah. It works well because we have people everywhere, lots of people coming and going in winter time.
Yep.
And then in summertime there's absolutely no one here, so we get a good mix. We get to see too many people and then we see not enough people.
That's good. Just to be clear, it is in the summer at the minute, I think, just coming out of it.
No, we're getting into the cooler months.
Oh, okay.
This is
okay.
Autumn or fall,
weather now.
But here it's also fall because it's falling temperatures.
Yeah.
Because we go from our 40 plus degrees down to our 5 to 10 degrees.
What's the hottest temperature that's ever been recorded out here?
Well, we have a bureau site, so we put the weather through here every day for the bureau. Recorded 48.3 in that box, and apparently that was the hottest temperature ever recorded at Carnegie, but I feel like it's been much hotter than that. But But 48's hot enough.
Yeah, it is. It is. The instrument probably doesn't record over that amount anyway.
But the days are hot, but the night time's when it gets you, you know, when it doesn't cool down below 30 degrees at the coldest point of the night, that's when you start getting sick of the heat.
Yeah. So you have air conditioning here?
We do have air conditioning, we're very thankful for that.
Yep.
First couple of years I was here, we didn't have solar power, so we ran on a generator and it used to turn off at night, and in summertime it was pretty hard to sleep when that was the case. It wasn't much fun at all.
Right, Ant, can you tell us why we've stopped here?
Well, we've stopped here because there seems to be 2 dogs hanging from 2 trees. And that's not something you see every day where I'm from anyhow.
No, it'd look a little bit odd in the streets of Fremantle.
It would look a bit odd in the streets of Fremantle. There are dog lovers in Fremantle, but they're different types of dogs. They're more domestic dogs.
Yeah.
So what are we dealing with over here, Jack?
What we've got behind us here, we've got 2 dogs, 2 wild dogs. For those who have travelled around Australia a little bit, particularly in the Outback or even just anywhere rural, you might have seen this before with foxes and dogs hung on fences and trees. It's a little bit of a tradition that goes back a long, long way, where people used to hang rabbits and the like on trees as well. Same with feral cats. Now what we've got is actually a pair, so whoever got these ones, it gets extra points because you got the male and you got the female. So you've taken out a breeding pair. They could have created a fairly large pack and they'd be teaching them well. They've been shot here in a creek, and whoever's done this has done an excellent job because they've managed to get both of the pair. You'll usually have dogs working in pairs up creeks, one on either side, and they will push prey up it. And you've got to be careful to make sure that you do get both of them because they will get wise to people tracking and shooting them. So these look like they've been dead for around 3 or 4 days. And they smell like it as well. We've got a couple of birds hanging around as well. We've got a few crows. You won't be able to see it because you're looking straight into the sun, but a few crows there. And crows can be a good indicator when you're in the bush and you're tracking dogs or any other animals, because they will, follow dogs around to see whatever they've killed. I'm not the biggest, I'm not the most experienced when it comes to tracking and hunting dogs, but what we have found is when you do have the dogs hung up in a tree, you'll get curious dogs coming in, having a sniff about who's gone, what's that smell. And so you're likely to get more dogs in this area over the next sort of, 6 to 8, even out to a couple of months. So, no, it's a good job that whoever's done it has done it. They've done well. We're not far from a water point, and these dogs, even though they've been blown up a little bit with the gases over the last couple of days, they look like they're in very good condition. No signs of mange or any fleas, and they've got quite a bit of body to them, not many scars, and they look quite young. I'd be saying that these are about 2 years old. It's good to knock them over early and just break that cycle, get them down to a manageable number so they don't affect your stock.
And what's the risk, Jack, to the stock? Do they attack the cows? Do they?
Yeah, they'll attack cows, calves. So when a cow's dropping a calf, they'll get in there because they can smell it. But also young calves up to 100 kilos, dogs will take them on, and they'll kill them. You'll also notice it where you get scars and bites on the livestock, which degrades the quality and drops the price that you can attain for your livestock. So it's important to make sure that you protect your herd, and having a good management plan on your dogs, your wild dogs, is important. It's also good to make sure that you keep the wild dog population in check, because if it goes out of proportion, they're going to start eating outside of their normal range, and they're going to overgraze on some of your smaller species, your rare and endangered species that you get in this sort of area. They do love lizards. Dogs go nuts for your lizards. You know, from your small little lizards out to your bung arrows, your prenties, they'll take them out. And
Yep.
so I've gotten home, it's around 6 o'clock. Still haven't got that text message from that Telstra call box. But the Prado did well, Ant did well, and we had a good run back. And yeah, that's a all up run of 450 odd Ks just to go grab our mail. But it's been good to catch up with Brendan and Jessie, and the kids had a great time together. So it's been a good job, and yeah, good day. Well, hope you can join us next time. The beer's almost cold enough.